Well, folks, on Tuesday afternoon, Judge Arthur Geron, the judge who was going to be overseeing the fraud trial for Donald Trump, scheduled to start next week, decided he had already seen enough. And the judge issued a guilty verdict against Donald Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump Jr., and of course the Trump Organization, ruling that they had in fact engaged in fraud to obtain bank loans and of course insurance policies. Now, this move is not unprecedented. This trial was not going to be a jury trial from the beginning. It was going to be a bench trial, meaning that Judge Geron is the one who ultimately would make the decision. Given the fact that both the prosecution and the defense had filed motions for summary judgment, the judge decided that at this point he's seen enough evidence, he doesn't need to hear from anyone else, and the judge went ahead and issued the summary judgment against Trump, his kids, and the business. But he didn't stop there. The judge has rescinded the operating licenses for multiple Trump entities, meaning that they will no longer be allowed to do business in the state of New York. The Trump Organization, as it has existed since the beginning, is finished. It will still exist, obviously, in some form or fashion. It will continue to do business, but probably not at the level that it had been up to this point. Getting hit with a guilty verdict in a fraud trial, definitely not something that most banks would want to get involved in. So, will the Trump Organization ever return to its former glory? I think that is highly doubtful at this point. So, which businesses will be shut down? Well, we're still waiting for the final report on all of that, and obviously Donald Trump is going to appeal this ruling and appeal it all the way to the Supreme Court, who, by the way, earlier this week, he got on Truth Social and implored the Supreme Court to please intercede, help me, he begged them. But it was too late. Geron said, no, I'm not going to let these other courts bail you out. I'm not going to let anyone step in and ruin this. I've seen enough. You did it. And now you're going to pay the ultimate price for it. So this is, of course, not necessarily the corporate death penalty for the Trump Organization, but kind of a little bit, to a small degree, it is. Now, this trial has been the one that Donald Trump, of course, has been obsessing about for quite some time now. It's the one that he seemed most concerned about, even though this one was only a civil trial, not a criminal trial. And of course, the reason this one bugged him so much is because if he got the guilty verdict, which he now has, it would prove that he is not only a liar, but he's a liar about how much money he has. And nothing pisses Trump off more than when people question whether or not he is as rich as he says he is. And the judge has delivered the verdict saying, you are not as rich as you say you are. You were lying to these banks. You were lying to everybody for years and years and years. This is more of a blow to Trump's ego than anything else. I mean, obviously losing the business licenses in New York that's a pretty big deal, obviously, but nothing compared to the blow that he is taking to the ego. And that's why this case was the one that bothered him the most. But now he's lost. Now it's over, pending the appeals, of course. But I don't see any way that those appeals overturn the massive amount of evidence that New York Attorney General Letitia James presented to that judge. It's over, and Trump lost. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel? We also encourage you to like, comment, and share. But again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.